All right, this one I'm very excited about. I'm very excited about this reaction because this is my first time that I'm gonna react to the Film Cubano's video review of a movie. If you guys don't know, the Film Cubano, I've known this dude since high school. We've known each other about, oh man, I want to say like 12 plus years, maybe even more. I could be like estimating that, but I've literally known the dude literally years. So this is like one of my close friends from high school. So I'm like really excited to review his reaction to when he saw a movie that he actually explained to me was very personable to him because how much he loved Chadwick Boseman. Also, RIP to Chadwick. This is my first time actually watching the video. I watched his other videos, and I always make sure to support. If you take the time, please definitely show some support to him as well. He's an up and coming YouTuber. Just he does reviews to shows on Netflix, shows on Hulu, movies. I could go on and so forth. And very entertaining dude, very genuine, very humble. Love the guy. Definitely make sure to check him out if you can. All right. All right. Shout out to you, bro. All right. Let's go, Film Cubano.
That was emotional. So I got a chance to see Black Panther Wakanda Forever last night on opening night of the film, and it was
Oh, you
one
went on
of the most
opening night,
emotional
bro? You
experiences
lit.
that I can remember when watching a movie. Within the first 5 minutes of this film, I was a puddle, I was crying, it was incredibly heart-wrenching, just the way that they opened this movie.
Yo, shout out to you, bro. First of all, just like allowing us to envision how you were when you first went and when you was watching the film. Um, but then also being okay with telling us you cried, bro. Shout out to you.
To be completely honest, I have no idea how they picked up the pieces after the death of Chadwick Boseman and managed to make a full film, a sequel to Black Panther without
That's facts.
T'Challa. And throughout this film, everything just felt sort of surreal and just very strange. And I think the story of this movie is literally just about the grief that all of these characters feel and all of the actors playing them feel in real life.
It's true.
Losing such a talented actor in that role. I actually didn't know this, but the script for Black Panther 2 is actually written before Chadwick Boseman passed away. So essentially they had to
That's
scrap
interesting.
that entire story and rewrite it from scratch and change the course of probably the MCU along the way. And I'm gonna be completely honest, I think they nailed it. One of the things I was most curious about going into this film was how they were gonna handle the passing of Chadwick Boseman. How they were going to address the
My fault, bro. I didn't mean to cut you off. I was thinking the same thing when I found out that they were gonna do a part 2 to the series. Well, to the film, I'm sorry, to the first film. I was confused. I didn't really know because again, his passing, I didn't know how they were gonna make that work and how if they were gonna include him in the film, were they gonna, put it off to somebody else who would get that extra attention. So I was actually, I was just as confused as well. Like you said, how were they gonna do another set for this film? So
fact that a character is in one movie and then just not in the next movie. And they handled it, in my opinion, in the best way they could have, which was blending real life and fiction together to explain why T'Challa is not in this film. Thought they handled it really, really well, and I thought it made as much sense as it could given the circumstances. Now, where the story goes from there is really interesting because this film is basically broken up between the emotions of the characters in the movie trying to process loss and Wakanda being invaded by Namor and his army. Namor, I thought, was a fantastic villain, anti-hero sort of character in this movie.
I did like him
for a couple
too.
of reasons. The main reason is that a lot of this film, specifically Namor and his motivations, felt like Ryan Coogler learned from Killmonger, and Namor is a more refined version of Killmonger's character. He's got better motivations, he's less selfish, but he's also this broken vessel, somebody who was given way too much responsibility at way too young of an age.
Facts.
And has been struggling to sort of figure out the balance between giving the people that look.
Sorry, I don't mean to keep cutting you off, bro. I also liked that too, like in the film, they were explaining his side when he was younger and the, you know, kind of like the trauma he went through and kind of like his backstory. I enjoyed that in the film. So it wasn't just solely focused on the people in Wakanda, actually showing like a different side of the story. So that was kind of cool in my perspective as well.
To him a strong leader while also attempting to process the anger he has towards what's led to his circumstances. And in that sense, I think it actually makes Namor a better version of Killmonger because his motivations are clearer, because he's a little bit more fleshed out, refined version of that character. Tenoch Huerta was absolutely incredible as Namor. I thought he was so good in this role. He brought so much.
Yeah, shout out to that actor.
And everything involving Namor and the world that he is a part of beneath Wakanda, deep in the ocean. That's what I would love to see more of. If we are going to get more Namor, I really hope that they explore more of his world.
Yes. Oh my God, I totally agree, bro. Yes, I was just talking about that with someone yesterday, and we were saying how like it was dope that they kind of started showing that underground, that sea world, and exploring more of that would have been fire for the film. And just going more into that and introducing that realm, that shit would have went crazy, bro.
In this film, there is so much potential there to see even more of where Namor is from. Now, in addition to Namor, there are actually a lot of acting performances in this film that are really good. Letitia Wright is fantastic, but Angela Bassett is probably going to win an Oscar for her performance in this film because she is on a different level. She is absolutely incredible. I was blown away by her performance in this film. She is already an incredible actor, but the performance she gives in Wakanda Forever, absolutely incredible. There are a lot of elements of this movie that feel like Ryan Coogler took the first film, kept what worked, while also adjusting the areas that could have been improved upon. The action scenes in this film were so good. In addition to that,
I did like the action scenes too. They was fire.
Was significantly improved from the first Black Panther, and you know exactly what I am talking about. You know what part of the first Black Panther I'm talking about. But from start to end, I thought the CGI in this film was really well done, and it was a really good showing from Marvel because over the last few years, their CGI quality has kind of started to dip a little bit. It's gotten a little bit frustrating as a viewer.
That's interesting that you say that.
CGI go from, you know, Iron Man 1 and all the work that they put into Endgame and Thanos, and then it just sort of slowly decreasing in quality. The quality is here. The water effects look fantastic. The underwater scenes look fantastic. The final fight, way better than the first movie. They really took to heart the criticisms of the final fight in the first movie and improved upon it in this second film. And that's the kind of stuff I appreciate. As special as the first Black Panther movie was, it wasn't perfect. No film is perfect. But taking the things that film
it was still really good though.
Upon the areas that movie could have used some improvement, making this film better, I really thought it was incredibly well done. It is also worth talking about the writing in this film. I counted maybe 2 corny, cringy dad jokes, like corny Marvel humor, maybe once or twice in this movie. This has a very somber tone, is being taken very seriously, and I think that was the right choice.
I agree.
There's a time and a place for Marvel's brand of humor. This movie is not it. This is not the place to be doing goofy, stupid dad joke humor, cringy humor, that sort of stuff. No. They handled this film incredibly well. The writing was so well crafted. Everything about it really made you feel just this weight that all the characters felt of their king being gone and attempting to process that loss. And in terms of the writing, I thought one of the areas that they did a really good job of sort of teasing out where things might be headed, both in this movie and in the future, was who takes up the mantle as Black Panther. Now, I'm gonna be honest, based on the posters, and I went back and watched a trailer that I had skipped for this movie because Marvel spoils way too much in their trailers, they pretty much give away who becomes the next Black Panther if you've seen the trailers or the posters for this movie. However, I think that they tease it enough throughout the film, and I think that the decision of who they give the Black Panther mantle to has just enough conflict in it, right down to the style of suit chosen for this new Black Panther that I think makes it a compelling enough choice. And when the film is over, it is not necessarily said or decided who the next Black Panther will be. At the end of the film, it does say Black Panther will return.
Yeah.
But throughout this movie, and especially towards the end of the film, there are plenty of directions, and I think this was done on purpose, where they might
But see, hold on, sorry. But see, I feel like that could potentially be a downfall for this series. You get what I mean? Like, if they, because, you know, they have a focus point, of course, in the first Black Panther. Then they have another focus point on the second one. And then if they choose somebody else to be that, it just, I feel like it's so much switching that it's gonna just, you know, it's gonna throw things off instead of it being like consistent. Because, you know, the focal point in this film deals with his sister and, you know, the grief that she's dealing with. So it's like, I don't know, I feel like it'll be too much switching if they change it, you know, the focal point, like the main person for part 3, you know,
mess around with who takes up the mantle long term. I think that's a great
Nah, it's
idea.
a fact, bro. That shit had me in my bag too.
For
Not gonna
making
hold
this
you.
movie sucked. It was awful. It was heartbreaking. And I think
Hold on. I gotta
need
go
to
back.
take
My
a step
fault.
back.
Sorry, y'all.
The end of the film, it does say Black Panther will return. But throughout this movie, and especially towards the end of the film, there are plenty of directions, and I think this was done on purpose, where they might want to mess around with who takes up the mantle long term. I think that's a great idea because the circumstances for making this movie sucked. It was awful. It was heartbreaking. And I think you might need to take a step back, sort of think about where you want to go with this character moving forward before making any definitive decisions about who the next Black Panther should be. And lastly, if you are a cinematography person like I am,
oh
like
shit,
my movies to look good.
Talking shit, bro.
Wakanda Forever looks incredible. There are so many cool shots in this movie. There are so many shots
That's
that look
facts.
like they could be paintings. There are so many scenes and shots that are thought out specifically. A scene in a garage early on in this film that is all one tracking shot going between the characters, focusing on who's speaking. Beautiful. Some of the shots of Namor underwater could be hanging in a museum. They were so beautiful. And I just appreciated a lot of the little things that they did in this
Even
film
down to like the attire.
Because it all
the attire was
helps it
fire.
Feel like a unique Marvel experience. And that's something that a lot of Marvel films have been lacking. So to see Wakanda Forever take the extra step of making sure the film feels unique and different, and it's shot in a creative way, I appreciate that kind of stuff. I personally think Wakanda Forever is one of the best Marvel films that they've ever done, especially considering the circumstances, but I honestly...
Damn, bro, really? One of the best they've ever done? Damn, that's a big statement, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. That's crazy. I mean, I'm gonna talk about my perspective on it. I want to hear your perspective first, bro. So I want to hear it out first, see what you got to say, and then I'm gonna tell you my perspective.
Even if it was just standing on its own, it would absolutely succeed in just that. It is a phenomenal achievement in the MCU. It is a special movie. I think if you liked the first Black Panther, you're really going to enjoy this one as well. But I will say, unless you are made of stone, you are going to cry within like 5 minutes of this film like I did. Probably a little bit throughout the rest of the movie and especially towards the end. But it is a worthy successor to the first Black Panther film. Most importantly, I think it would make Chadwick really proud to see what they created.
Okay. So again, please make sure to support my boy's YouTube, the Film Cubano. Great dude. His reviews are always dope, and I love the fact, bro, that you do it spoiler free, which is awesome for the people that haven't watched it and still kind of want content about it. It was definitely a great film, yeah, but it's true, bro. That's like a big statement. I'm not gonna hold you. That's you know. So my perspective on it, I'm gonna be honest. It was a good film. I just feel like it wasn't an amazing film. To be honest, in my perspective, I feel like they should have waited a little bit more. I'm not sure how long they waited after they had, you know, dropped the film and his passing. I feel like they could have just, I don't know, it was, for me, when I was watching the experience, it was just a lot of hopping around. It's like 1 second they're grieving and they're in remembrance of Chadwick Boseman, and then it's like another second she's, you know, traveling, or they're talking about the Namor under SeaWorld, and it was just like, sometimes it was like getting confusing. In terms of the emotion of the film, you could definitely tell that they were like, I think you said, I don't know if this was filmed before or after him passing, Cubano. I don't remember, but um you could definitely tell like they felt those emotions in the film. You know what I mean? Those heartbreaking emotions and those remembrance and just those sad moments. You could definitely tell like those were real. The actors in the film definitely showed great emotion and showed passion. So I can definitely say it's amazing performances from the actors in that film. Overall, in my opinion, I feel like the film was okay. I feel like it wasn't like the most amazing film ever. I would actually love, like you said, Cubano, I would love to them to dwell into that sea world and kind of explore that a little bit more. But in terms of like it being, the best, one of the best films, I don't know. I can't agree to that, bro. I'm sorry. I gotta watch it again, maybe, because when I first saw it, I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't even in the right state of mind, and I was actually a little tired too. So you know what I'm saying, I could have been seeing things that wasn't even there because I was just delusional from lack of sleep. But I did watch the film, but I felt like it was okay. You know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like it was a good film, but it wasn't like amazing. You know, that's that's my perspective on it. All right.